key to reskilling, upskilling, and new skilling for mandatory and career opportunities. Today, can I have your full survey from you? And let me give you full attention to this section because it's you also tips and tricks and also make sure you give your full attention. And then put your full survey, okay? So without further ado, I'll start to the stage and proceed with the talk. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Okay, Jack, we need to make sure the online stream is working. Okay, it's good. All right, morning, everybody. My name is Han. I'm from Fine. So let's start this talk, which is called Learn, Grow, Conquer. Okay. But before we go towards the talk, let me just share with you a little bit more in depth about who I am and my company, right? So I'm Han. I'm a recruiter. So I've been doing headhunting for about 7 years, meaning that I've talked to many candidates from fresh graduates to directors. I founded Fine, a HR firm specializing in recruitment. And also, I'm like a very diehard Pokemon fan, as you can see from my Bulbasaur and Pikachu, right? Okay, so a little bit about the journey of Fine. When I first started working after graduation, I never thought that I would own my own business, right? Until the day where, I got a bit inspired. So my end goal was always to kind of end up working with Pokemon International. But then the pandemic hit and things kind of changed. So you guys were still very young probably during the pandemic and you might not know so much about the economy back then, but there were pay cuts and budget cuts, there were layoff, retrenchments, there were this white flag movement going on about like people being jobless and they really cannot find work. And as a headhunter, right, it's very hard for me to help people out if the client does not give the job order. And then, during the pandemic, you can't do much except like watch TV. And then I started like being very into Korean drama. And that's when I watched Startup, right? I'm not sure how many of you actually watched Startup before. Yeah, right? It was a really good show. And that's where I got this inspiration to like, you know what? Let me try to solve this market problem. So we offer two services. One is our recruitment services in APAC. We handle recruitment in Malaysia, Singapore, Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, Japan, Korea. We are a licensee recruitment company in Malaysia, meaning we can do local and international hiring. And we recently expanded to Singapore as well. Okay, and for Fine Global, we actually have our very own job portal, and we also handle immigration services. So we established in 2022, and last year we just won a new recruitment agency award from HR Vendors Award, and we actually got this mission, which is to bridge gap between exceptional talents and forward-thinking companies, which is why we do MOUs with university like MAIC to help the students out. And this is our job portal. We actually even have this page for fresh graduates where you can find internships and fresh graduate jobs. So why Fine, right? So we get jobs from multiple companies and countries, international exposure for students. We also do career talks and resume reviews like the workshops we've been doing from MAIC. And we also get industry insights, which is, I think, one of the reasons why MAIC asked us to do the talk today. So, how many of you want to be a dinosaur, right? This is a stat. In 15 to 20 years, it is predicted new automation technologies are likely to eliminate 14% of the work jobs and transform another 32%. All right? What does that mean? That means whatever you are currently studying may not be applicable in the future. So why do we want to upskill, reskill, anything skill, right? Obviously, everybody wants more opportunities. With more skills, you are eligible and more wanted by different companies, different countries, different benefits. You get different benefits. Everybody wants to get promoted. Who wants to stay at a 2,000 ringgit job forever, right? Everybody wants a higher salary, but most importantly, I think everybody wants job security. Okay, if we talk about upskilling or reskilling, there must be a reason why people are doing it, and it is because, as we saw, your job can get redundant. So how do we grow as individuals, right? There's 3 ways to develop skills: reskilling, upskilling, and new skilling. Okay? So what is reskilling? Reskilling is like you give your existing skills a makeover. Okay? Let's do an example. How many of you study marketing here? Yeah, marketing. So marketing gives you a wide variety of subjects and topics, right? For example, I'm not sure, but maybe your marketing subject taught you about graphic design. Okay, right? Yeah. But what came into play recently that kind of like overthrew the market? Canva. With the existence of Canva right now, your skills in Photoshop or AI is being replaced by this platform that like just gives templates out. So how do you kind of make yourself special? One, either you go for master classes that make your Illustrator skills so good that Canva can't beat it. Or 2, you figure out what is it in marketing that would still be needed. And like the current game changer would be in terms of data analysis. Like Google Analytics is still very important. It's still a part of marketing, but not a lot of people teach it. Right? So if you can learn some coding or Excel, right? You actually can transform your expertise to a whole new different career path. Next. So BCG data shows, right, that 68% of workers are aware of coming disruptions in their field and are willing to reskill to remain competitively employed. So if 68% of workers are aware of this coming disruption, what about all of you that have not graduated yet? And I think that is something you guys really need to pay attention to if you don't want to get left out from the market. So what is upskilling? You think of it as like building your strengths. So like, let's say you're super good at graphic design already. So you level up by learning new software or learning new skills. For example, there's a lot of graphic design tools, but maybe if you can make it move, animation, cartoon, mascots, that's a whole different upskill game, right? It's all about continuous improvement and you stay ahead of the curve. Because if you don't do that, your skills get stagnant and then after that you get left behind. And new skilling involves venturing into an entire new domain or industry. And it's basically to explore fresh ventures, right? And this is for very adventurous souls or people that not scared to die. For example, for those that studied marketing and then you say, you know what, I cannot do this already, I really need to upskill. Let me figure out, should I go towards IT? Should I go towards finance? Should I go towards HR? Let me take courses to help me in terms of that. It's a totally different ballgame. And you might say at age 20, 22, oh no, I'm too old to change my field. But I think it's just a mindset game, right? At age 29, I started venturing into tech. So all these years, right, I was doing headhunting, I was doing recruitment, I was very people-minded, I was more on relationship, talking to people, and then one day I was like, you know what, I really want to build my job portal. And ultimately, I had to venture into tech, not knowing what I'm doing, and then after that, just figuring it out as I go, right? So it's never too late to change your path or to learn something new, but ultimately, it's whether you really want to do it, right? So 42% of the core skills required to perform existing jobs are expected to change between 2022 and 2024. So this article came out in 2022, right? It already said 42%. We are already in 2024. These stats did not include the fact that ChatGPT recently boomed up, right? There's things like AI generation. AI has become so smart that it's not just about generative AI, but it's about creative now. So why should you care, right? Number one, everybody wants to feel wanted and pity. So you kind of need to increase your attractiveness. I think as companies, everybody loves employees with in-demand skills. And the more you have, the more you can potentially earn. Future relevance, staying ahead of the curve with new skills, so you'll be prepared for whatever comes next. Especially as students, you guys actually have more time, right? If you all really sit down and think about what you all want to do in the future, with this time that you have, you can get ahead of the curve when you all graduate. And you need to stand out. There are so many graduates in the market, and it's still an employer market, right? One job that pays really, really well, and everybody wants that one head count. But what makes you stand out from everybody else? That makes you go, oh, the company is like, yeah, this one is worth it, right? How does one person beat another 100 people? That's something you need to think about. Guys, right? When you want to learn a new skill, when you want to upskill, when you want to reskill, the stats are there so that you can see, like, what's the weightage. But I think I will just go through it briefly. I think it's time, adaptability, and difficulty. So the time you take to invest in yourself is the time where you feel like, oh my God. So imagine this, right? I did my MBA. When I was working, it was full-time work and part-time MBA, but that meant on the weekends and on weekday nights, I was constantly doing assignments, I was studying time, right? I had no social life. Thank God my girlfriend was still studying, so she demanded me study. If not, right, I really no social life. So we would go to like Papa Rich at night, then I have to finish my 3,000 word assignment, then the next day I have to go to work, right? But it's the time you take to invest in yourself to get better. Okay? Adaptability. How well can you go, you know what? I'm too old for this, or my brain just doesn't function this way. I'm not cut out for this. Or do you tell yourself that, yeah, it's a new skill, it's hard, it's very uncomfortable, but I can do it. And I think one thing that I will share today is learning new things is very uncomfortable, and being uncomfortable makes you grow. That's something that I've realized along my lines of kind of founding my own company. And obviously, if I stick to headhunting and recruitment, I'm really good at it, right? It's very comfortable for me. But doing techy things for a very non-tech person is very challenging. And I will ask for a lot of help, I'll be like, Amanda, how do I do this? Yeah. But ultimately, after that, I learn, I grow. And yeah, growth, like uncomfortableness leads you to a lot of growth. Yeah. And the difficulty. Yeah. I think everybody will have things that they're not very good at, but it's just how good do you want to get? Yeah. So how do you do it? I'm a very strong believer about interest. If you told me about SPM, and then I'll be like, okay, I got 3A, 2B, 1C, 3Bs. I was not a very good student in SPM because I went into science and I hated it. But when I went into degree, right, my CGPA was like HT, distinctions, because I was very interested in business, right? So identify your interests first, identify what you're passionate at, and you start from there. You think about what skills can complement your existing knowledge, and you take it. You can also explore free online resources. Let's say you're not ready to commit. You're like, what if I really don't like it? Take the first step. Go Google. Go do some research. Think about. Then after you go through it and you're like, yeah, I feel like this one will be very beneficial for me. Then go meet your lecturers, right? And third one, you network with professionals. I guess talking with people really does help, especially people with a lot of experience. But you really need to know what type of questions to ask. And when people talk about it, you really listen. Then that's how networking is very beneficial. Things to remember and practice. This all remember I told you mindset, right? Resilience. There will always be setbacks and obstacles along the learning journey. And then you all just need to be okay with it. So I've got this motto for this year, which is called "It is what it is." So sometimes, no matter how much you try to change fate doesn't want to be changed. And you just need to be okay. You just accept it and then you move on. Right? And whatever failures come along the way, you just treat it as a learning opportunity. Then after that, you accept your fate, and then after that, you feel better, and then you move on. Don't harp so much on it. Self-discipline, cultivating, and committing to consistent practice and study habits. So right now, I'm actually studying Japanese. And I don't speak Mandarin, by the way. So Japanese is one of the hardest languages to learn in the market, but it pays really well in Malaysia. For a Japanese speaker, as a fresh graduate, if you are very fluent, the salary can be up to 6,000 ringgit as a fresh graduate, right? So there's a lot of people trying to learn Japanese right now, and that's the market that we conquer. So what I do every day is Duolingo, making sure the owl stays alive, but it's still a commitment that you need to do. And so right today, I'm at 750 strict days. Yeah. Patience. I think in this world, we expect everything to come in instantly, but that's not really the case. Hard work, it takes a lot of hard work and time to get to where you want to be. So just think about it, right? I've got a lot of these fresh graduates that come in to work with us, and then they're like, why can't I be like you? Why can't I be like Jeremy, the team leader? And then I'll be like, if you could match us, I think there'll be a pretty big disgrace right now because we have 5 to 7 years working experience, and you came in 1 month in and you try to be like us, right? So it's about managing your own expectations and learning how to be patient with yourself so that people really grow over time, right? After 1 year, do you feel like you grew from the 0 days old when you came in, right? And lifelong learning, it's really an ongoing journey. If you are, after my degree, by the way, I hate studying, right, as you all could tell from my results, but as I finished my degree and I'm like, I'm never ever going to study again. I was so happy. I'm like, that's my last exam paper. And then I signed up for masters. I also don't know why I did that. But throughout the years of working, I've realized that every day is a learning opportunity, it's a learning journey. It just doesn't come in a form of an exam paper. Yeah. So the main conclusion of this talk, right, is that I'm pretty sure you all won't remember what the skills mean as well. There's a reskill, upskill, new skill. Do you all remember what it means? Yeah? No, you don't, right? But I think ultimately everybody gets the gist of it. And the more important thing is you guys need to take action. After this talk, if you go yeah, I remember Han the speaker, Han said all these things. And then you all go for lunch, and then you all go back, and then poof, you all forget about it, useless. Yeah. Take some time, reflect on what it really means, who you want to be in the future. Think about it's very cliche, but think about 10 years from now. Think about Who do you want to be as an individual? Who do you want to be when you grow up? How do you want to portray yourself to your friends in 10 years? And if you're not at that level yet, you need to figure out your game plan on how to reach that. Figuring out your game plan will help you lead to this. Leading to this will help you lead to your game plan. Okay, all right, and that's it from me. Thank you so much. You can look at our socials. We've got our website, Insta, LinkedIn, Facebook. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Khan. I hope you guys learned something from this session just now. So, Mr. Khan has shared with you very valuable information and from it. So, we have come to the end of first part of today, and we'll end our first half of the day, and you may go for lunch break, and we